Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the GameStar Spring Series right here on GameStar TV. If you have just joined us, you missed the first VO3 between Capital and hang on, let me just get my notes out. It was Capital and and Delete, and it was Capital who came out with a 2-0 victory in that one. And well, like I said, if you had joined us again this game, we did have round number one, albeit quick, between multiple units, and we left school for this on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it was we left school for this going down to multiple units. So the Zul tank just really not getting it done. So the experimentation, albeit admirable, didn't really have much of an impact against the super monster mega team of multiple units. So without further ado, let's get into the game. My name's Kickfox, joined by Knight Geo. Coming into this game, Geo, into Battlefield of Eternity. Do you think we left school for this? Will they try something different again, or will they go back to a stock standard?
Look, I kind of have to appreciate that they tried something with the Zul tank. You're not really seeing much teams experiment, and if they've been practicing it, it could be a hidden pocket pick going in towards Premier, since they, again, probably qualify. Again, that's still, I have no idea what's happening there, but it's something like that is nice if you have it in your back pocket. It can catch people off guard. Probably needs to hit the workshop yet again, fine-tune it a little bit more, has potential, but just did not work out last game. Now Battlefield of Eternity, and bans already coming out. Hanzo and Diablo, they need to ban the Maiev. Ulti was just really, really clean on that hero.
Maybe they'll be looking to take the Maiev for themselves. I mean, they do have first pick.
That is true.
They do have the ban on the Hanzo. Maybe they've been inspired. Maybe they saw what Ulti was able to do. They're going to ban Hanzo and Garrosh. So Diablo being banned the entirety of the Spring Series so far, as has Genji. But as we're into the final phase, the final ban of the phase, it is actually going to be Maiev, so we could see a first pick Genji.
I kind of like that. If that's the case, then we left school for this, played it smart. Banned someone else. They did not ban Genji, they did not ban Maiev, and this forced multiple units to ban one of the two. Now, if they pick it in, it's a little bit early, but you can get counterpicked very easily, but they're feeling confident, they're going for the Genji, and we're finally going to see him picked up. What is multiple units' reply?
I don't think they'll be too phased with that, Gio, honestly, given how convincingly they were able to pants we left school for this in that previous game. I think they'll be quite happy with their backline sustainability. I mean, we saw Jesmez not really engage in any of those fights, and he was playing Muradin. He was maybe waiting for Maiev to do all of the dirty work for him. Then he was engaging with those sneaky Storm Bolts. He even picked up Haymaker at level 10. Granted, we only saw it once, but, you know, it was enough. But how about the big double kill Sulfura smash coming out, picking up a double big one for multiple units? But they're going to lock in Anubarak and Tyrande, so still pretty well-rounded. I like the Anubarak because very solid counter to Genji, and that almost forces in we left school for this to pick somebody like a Li Ming to melt that cocoon down, and there it is.
I would love if... so this is the thing going towards BlizzCon. I had a massive problem with Anubarak, only because if he goes in and doesn't work out properly, he's very, very prone to being killed. Only thing I had fine with him is if a Yrel is picked alongside him, get the double dive in for that armor to keep him alive if he misengages properly, improperly or whatever. So if Will at School this somehow pick Yrel away or ban it away, that's great. But if they pick, and I would like this really, a Tyrael Yrel for themselves, they could really, really cause havoc and misery for multiple units with that kind of team composition. But it's a high execution team comp.
Well, it looks like this is not Jimmy for we left school for this. So there are three bans, Hanzo, Garrosh, and Reyna. On the side of multiple units, we have got... on the side of... we left school for this. We have got the Diablo, the Maiev, as well as the Muradin. Having a quick look, Valor-Tassadar. This is something we haven't seen for a long time, Gio.
I like Valor. I was mentioning just before when we were on break, like I want to see a Valor Oriole, but I guess one of the two is better than nothing. It works. A lot of damage is reliant on Valor. They got to keep it alive. They got Cocoon to Genji. If Genji gets on, it's going to be big. There's the ETC and Blaze with the follow-up engage. Deca Kane, if you can get the nice stay a while and listen for the setup. There's a lot in the pool of Will of School for this. They can set themselves up nicely with the right abilities, with the right chain CC as well. Multiple units all playing, I guess, in the eggs of basket of Vala. Wonder what they're going to go with next. Who knows, maybe a Tracer, but I feel like they need someone else in the front line alongside their Nubrak.
Yeah, we saw what the solo quote-unquote tank was able to do for We Left School for this in the first game. The answer, not a lot much, but we're going to have Gondo locking in Urel. So on the side of multiple units, it's looking pretty beefy. You've got that Urel, you've got that Anubarak. Tyrande, since her rework, is an extremely viable healer now, but I'm loving the double support coming out. We've got Tassadar, Tyrande with the Valor. This is something we haven't seen since, almost the GameStar Ember series, way back 2-3 years ago, back when the meta was extremely different. I'm talking the days when Uther had +10 passive armor, and you thought, why the hell is he going to be using that anytime in the near future? And then a couple of metas later, he became pretty much a go-to healer with that Divine Shield of his. But now it's Tyrande. Who figured? We've come full circle here, Gio.
Well, I'm happy Tyrande is back up in the top. It used to be one of those, solo support Tyrande? Yeah, you're trolling. Report, AFK, all that stuff. Now it's like, oh crap, you're support Tyrande. All right, everyone bow down before the mighty priestess. But it's going to be a great game. Still pocket for Vala to do all the damage. The race, it's difficult. Li Ming can do damage. Genji, I don't know. I'm not really convinced he's a great race potential hero. He's looking for the picks. But if We Left School for this can manage to blow Vala, in a way, the sustained Tyrande Deca is somewhat equal. It's really whoever gets the first jump wins here. And if they can really get the right pick off, then it works wonders. But it's a bit tough to deal with what the CC multiple units have on their side.
Game 2, ladies and gents, of multiple units versus We Left School for this. Blue is We Left School. It is Tanner on ETC. Jesse Helium on Decky on Blaze on Gleaming.
Meanwhile, on the red side, Ulti on the Vala. Coffee will be playing Tatsura, Shadow on Tyrande, Gondo on Urel, and finally Jesmez will be playing the Anubarak. And that is multiple units with multiple high-value targets for Genji to jump on, but Jester looking to go in this. Tanner as well. Yeah, nice route for Jesmez. He's forced to break away, even Jester!
Jester goes in, but gets CC'd, just manages to get away from the Lunar Flare. Ulti decides to vault in, but Jester pop deflect was too strong, and the heals as well as the CC coming out from Helium on Deckard at the level 1 engage. You really have to admire that. He was almost able to get the kill there onto Jesmez, who's now in a sneaky position, will actually burrow charge in, collect Tanner, and force the disengage. Scroller Ceiling will collect too. Tanner goes in with the power slide. Wasn't quite able to chain it. Ulti goes back because Jester goes in. The tower getting a shot off, but it wasn't enough to secure the kill. And Coffee on the Tassadar here is doing a fantastic job. That's twice Jester has gone in now to try and secure the kill on Genji with a cheeky backline dive, but Coffee was there turning the tide with a well-placed plasma shield.
But also Jester just jumping in goes to show, if you think you're safe, you're really not, because I will follow you. I will go for it. And that kind of, I guess, confidence to still Swift Strike in, knowing what you have to deal with, it becomes a mind game, really. They can't misstep at all. And We Left School for this already showing themselves up in this game, not having dropped 3 members in the first minute.
Jesmez on that front line as the Anubarak, just soaking up some damage. I'm having a quick look at the talent. It is actually going to be Sapphire from Deckard. I thought he might have actually gone for Quest. Alas, it is not. But I like this one. Gems built on Deckard is extremely strong. Sapphire provides the slow. Emerald provides the anti-heals. I mean, Gems is viable here because there's not really much apart from, well, I was going to say not much of a disengage going on. I'm going to take that back and eat my words because almost everybody is rather slippery on the side of multiple units. And we see that now with Gondo leaping in with Avenging Wrath. Jesmez does have Burrow Charge. Coffee, of course, has got that E to get away as well. Ulti with the Vault. Shadow, it comes level 10, there'll be Shadow Stalk, but hey, Tyrande in a good position doesn't really need to escape.
It comes down to really like who... We've got displacement, the chain CC. Tanner, he needs to really kind of zone out the right targets. If he can get a great power slide into a face mount that isolates a good target, Blaze, Jet Propulsion in. Why not? Does the damage and they can get a pick off. Both Shaman camps being picked up by both teams to allow the push, but multiple units are the first to get on towards the Immortal. Already doing a bit of damage. Vala, again, Hungering Strike build is going to do wonders, but the fight begins. Kit, here we go.
Gondo is deep and gets caught by the Squall of Ceiling, the Cube, and just tons and tons of damage. But Yrel does Yrel things and is able to get away. Jester gets knocked back into the wall on Genji, forcing the disengage. Jesmez now goes in with the Burrow Charge. The orb came in from Li Ming. Now there's a great fire. Cube coming out here, collects 2 in the Scroll of Sealing, but Yrel too good, knocking off Tanner and any sort of collapse. School for this, just try to pull. In the first days after all this, slide multiple unit. Now, Vala just unable to get close enough to do any sorts of damage. But Coffee and Jesmez providing a zone to spread those Vala wings of his. Then there's, in fact, 0 damage from We Left School for this on the opposing Immortal as well. So multiple units well in control here.
Most of Crimson, sorry, I would say Crimson. Multiple units, still a bit healthy. Gondo dropping out. They got the double support, but now they're working onto that Immortal. Doing quite a lot of damage. Tanner, Kit, this fight's still going back and forth, but OG wants to engage.
He does. He goes in with the Jet Propulsion as well as the Oil Slick. Ignites it. Probably would have done well to leave that one up there. And nevertheless, damage over slows now. Speaking of damage and slows, the Vault is not going to be enough for Vala to get away. And Ulti's taking a lot of damage. Coffee with a well-timed Plasma Shield. Jester trying to secure the kill. But just like gank attempts before, Jester is unable to do so. And Genji not finding as much value as he would like. So far, it is still early days. Once he levels up a little bit more, might become a little bit more menacing. Ooh, Blaze goes in with the Jet Propulsion and almost caught Coffee, but he was able to warp himself away. Meanwhile, multiple units just unable to get close enough to deal any more damage to this Immortal. But having a look at We Left School for this, they don't really have anybody on their team to race, and I think that just might have been an oversight here in their draft geo.
Yeah, absolutely. They're relying more on Li Ming to kind of do the race. It's a bit low. Blaze as well. Genji's not that much of a race. He's more of the pick-off. So I guess multiple units, knowing that, allowed him through on purpose. Cladris a bit low. Go back away. Be careful of that shadow. Oh, Luna flares on. Was the owl? He was used a second ago. But Tanner's stuck dealing with 3 members. He's got to be careful here, otherwise he might fall.
It's almost like they got tunnel vision when Genji was left open in the draft, and we thought, you know what, we're going to take Genji just so you don't get Genji. And then come that time, they already had their DPS basically filled because of the Anubarak being locked in and Cocoon play being a threat for Genji. They needed that Li Ming, and there's their 2 DPS. In that, while that was going on, Geo, we had ETC get taken down, and We Left School for this are without one of their tanks, and they're struggling. They're over a level behind. Just under a level behind, sorry, 8-7 in fact. First Blood going over 2 multiple units. They're going to get a rotation going. Let that Immortal go hammer and tong on the bottom lane by itself and potentially catch out LG on the Blaze here. But alas, it's not going to be. Coffee will blow his vision. LG comes back in, but not really much he can do, but watch as his fortifications crumble.
Almost a full level advantage. It's going to be careful. Gondo gets a nice stun. Tanner, the CC begins, wow, and Tanner's gone.
Poor Tanner there. He just could not move. It's like he got stuck in quicksand here on Battlefield of Eternity. But nah, it was just chain CCs, one after the other, and that is just multiple units just showing how good they are. And as I say that, Caster's Curse Jesmez whiffs the Burrow Charge, whiffs the Impale, and allows Blaze to get away from that fight. Regardless, they're going to take 2 of the keeps in the in one lane, each lane respectively. I'll spit that out eventually. Jester, meanwhile, in the bottom lane, just trying to soak his team back into this. They're currently going to be losing the level 10 advantage over to multiple units any second now. They're still on level 8, and Jester just trying to bring his team back into it. But a Genji in lane is not really where you want your Genji to be, Gio.
You want him to be rotating around, getting picks. It's a bit hard with this kind of position when you're always on the back foot. Even to a point of multiple units, just be like, hey, you know what? We're level 10, bring it. What are you going to do? We're going to just take a Shaman camp, and you got nothing you can say about that. And well, there you go. That's what happens when you have a full level advantage. A whole tier advantage with your ultimates up and ready. And looking at ultimates, Cocoon is up, Rain of Vengeance is up, even got Arkin for the extra damage. Sacred Ground for the third time tonight.
Wow.
I think it's a trend. I don't know if it's just, good old Aussie, HEC, all the Sacred Grounds. Ardent Defender just not that good anymore, but it's working. And Gondo looking to have that positional advantage as well, get a little disruption happening.
Look, Ardent Defender is still viable. I just think Sacred Ground on the maps that we've had tonight has been the logical choice, and without a doubt, we can see that multiple units have been watching the previous games and taking a leaf out of Aureus' book on the URL. There wasn't a single Sacred Ground that didn't go unutilized by him, and they saw what BOE is capable of doing in terms of choking in the opposition. Meanwhile, multiple units, their race game is strong, and there's really nothing that We Left School for this can do about it. They're going to leash the Shamans as well, and that's just more pressure. It's like multiple units, they've got places to be tonight. Granted, it's like 10-20 AEDT at this point in time, but you know what? Maybe they've got Tinder dates. Maybe they're swiping right. They need to get out of here.
Well, you got multiple units, multiple minds, multiple strategies. Why not? Best of everything. We Left School for this are a team, still working together, see if they can find the kinks. But they decided to kind of give up this objective too. Soak up, get the level 10s. It's up there. Mosh Pit's ready. X-Strike. Even Lornado, Bunker, Disintegrate. If We Left School for this, they're going to have a great defense happening here. There's no Shaman Camp pushing down in the bottom lane. If they get a great engage, a great team fight, it's going to work, but Jester has to back away, force the Swift Strike to safety.
It was great awareness by We Left School for this to not take that engage. They knew that they saw MU trying to pinch away their Shaman Camp. There was nothing they can do about it. They knew they didn't hit level 10, nothing they can do about the Immortal. So their wits are about them, Geo. They took the smarter option. They took the high road. They're doing their best Obi-Wan Kenobi impressions right now and holding the high ground. Now in goes the Emerald Cube. That's a lot of healing that's not going to be coming the way of multiple units. Tanner goes in with the Mosh Pit, but there's no follow-up. Oh, G coming in now, blows the QP. I was going to say the combustion, the passive rather now will just stand on top of that ignited oil, but Genji can't heal from that, and he will get taken down. So multiple units now. Again, they're on the core. 10 minutes, 35 seconds already. The damage is pouring in. Tanner gets taken down. He's like a pinball at the moment. Poor ETC gets removed. And do they have the damage? They've got the Shaman Camps there, and I think they just might here, Geo. They're going ham. Level 13 to level 11. 4 kills to 0. 22% left on the core, and they don't even care. They're farming for kills at the moment. GGs go out, and We Left School for this just do not have what it takes to go up against the Frankenstein team of multiple units, finishing both of their games in under 20 minutes total tonight. In fact, 17 minutes, I believe, was their grand total for both of their games. Like I said, places to be.
I believe so. You know what? They came to show that they took 2-0 against Impenetrable Hill, a premier team. Now they 2-0'd the number 1 team from Open Division We Left School for this. This is just a makeshift team of high-class, high-level players, and, well, I guess their communication is just their skill. Just knew what to do. Who needs communication when you've got that natural, cohesive synergy?
Yep.
And bloody, I don't know, I'm just lost for words, just blown away by sheer skill they have.
That just goes to show you how big the gap is between the best team in Premier Division and the half of the second best team, the best team in Open Division and half of the second best team from Premier Division. So, I mean, Crimson, they played off in Sydney at the Intercontinental Clash against Mind Freak. Unfortunately, they didn't get the chance to go up against Thunder Predator or it escapes me, the other Latin American team that was there at the time. But that just goes to show you they are strong. They are a good team. Granted, We Left School for this tried something different tonight. It didn't really work out for them, especially in game number 1. But game number 2, it looked a lot more promising. But again, like we said before, the strength of multiple units was just way too strong. It is an absolute beast of a team. And don't be surprised if they take this tournament out, Gio.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they're going to be the favorites, if anything, a threat. We'll be seeing them tomorrow night for sure, going towards tomorrow's best of 3 night. And it's going to be one that they're going to be taking on, I believe, the winner of Capital versus Nobody. So that would be interesting, actually. I'm not sure who Capital will be playing against. So that would be a great one. Yeah, so Capital will be taking on the winner of Nobody Eggs Day. And we saw Capital before. They're looking a lot cleaner, a lot stronger. Whatever they've been practicing over the past few weeks, looking good. So that'd be great if they could make it through. Great best of 3 there. But, man, tonight has been a good night so far to kick things off for the spring split.
That's it. I mean, that's night number 1 done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. The second BO3 was very, very quickly, but if you get the chance, please go watch VOD of the game number 1 that we had between Rinse and Delete and the boys from Capital. Capital came out in the end there with a 2-0. Spoiler alert. But regardless, everybody saw how well they played tonight. Definitely another team to watch. Aureus and Tyrion on that front line. Name a more iconic duo. Oh, wait. We're here all night, ladies and gentlemen. But that's it from us. My name is Kit Fox, joined by Night Geo, the man I'm going to say to my right, if I'm looking at the screen there. Your right. Let's go with your right.
Yeah, it's your my right. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking left, but you're on my right. You know, we got that mirror action. Physics, yo. Speaking of that,
not?
Yo, science, there's a Breaking Bad movie. Get around it. And I just want to pay a quick tribute to a personal idol and a lot of idols to people around the world. Basically, Nerd Jesus, Stan Lee, Excelsior, my friend. We're going to miss you. Your work, you've inspired generations, and we really love everything that you've done, and it will live on for years and years to come. But that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. The victors tonight were Capital and multiple units. If you like what you saw, we've got the next night. The next night, it's going to be tomorrow night here for we'll call it the grand final of the week between, it looks like it'll be multiple units going up against, I believe, the winner of Capital and Nobody. We'll have to get those ones to you very, very soon. But ladies and gents, again, thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your casters tonight, and we hope to see you here in the Nexus tomorrow.